Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to Hokkaido once again and continue on with this little mini series of beers that I brought back with me from my trip up there. And we're going to Otaru this time to have a taste of my first taste of a beer from Otaru Beer Brewery, and this one is their Dunkel beer, which comes in at 5%. These guys actually have a German brewmaster, so this one should be pretty damn good actually. Looking forward to this one. They had some other beers, but I was only able to bring back one with me. I only had room for one actually, along with another couple of beers that I brought back. So should be quite an interesting review, and I hope you guys enjoy me taking a look at these kind of Hokkaido beers. Some of the beers in Hokkaido are very, very good, and the sake up there is very good as well. So make sure you go and visit it. It's a beautiful place with some beautiful things for you to drink. Really worthwhile going to if you find yourself in Japan. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual things are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that I'll do from Otaru Beer. This is the first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's all the usual social media. Make sure you check that out. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. And if you're particularly interested in Japanese beers, go to my homepage and search Japan. All the Japanese beer reviews will pop up, or of course you can go and check out Casey and Eric's channel, Sotogami Akihabura, two American guys from Tokyo who have some really nice videos and a channel dedicated to Japanese craft beer. You'll see me reviewing some beers with them pretty soon actually. So yeah, let's get stuck into this one then. So to tell you a little bit about Otaru Beer. So Otaru Beer are based in the city of Otaru in Hokkaido, which is a port city to the northwest of the main capital city of Sapporo in Ishikara Bay. So the brewery was founded in 1994, not long after Japan changed their laws, which really were quite restrictive and stopped many microbreweries opening up. It used to be that you had to brew 2 million litres of beer per year to actually be allowed to brew beer. There were ways around this though, such as brewing non-alcoholic beer, and you could also brew your beer outside of the country and then import it in, but it was quite restrictive, and it really meant that the beer market in Japan was dominated by the big breweries like Orion, Sapporo, who else, like Kirin and breweries like that. The brewery market was really dominated by the huge breweries, and there's been a big kind of craft beer boom of late. But the brewmaster at this brewery is actually German. His name is Johannes Braun, and he trained at the Technische Universität München, which is also linked to the famous Weihenstephan brewery, the oldest brewery in the world, the Bayerische Staatsbrauerei Weihenstephan. But Johannes actually hails from a town just outside of Frankfurt, and his family apparently also have their own brewery, which dates from 1610. He also trained in distilling at Heriot Watt University in Edinburgh. Of course, that programme there has produced many quite well-known craft brewers today. And he worked in Scotland for many years too, for Union Distilleries actually. That's a very big company from what I gather, but I think it might have been absorbed into Diageo now. But he was a brewer and distiller for a very long time. His family have a great brewing heritage as well, so you can expect some very good beers from these guys. But the beer itself is brewed at Zenibako Brewery in Otaru City, and the company also have the Soko, or warehouse as it is in English, Soko number 1 bar and restaurant, which was their original brewery as well. Their new brewery at Zenibako actually produces, I think, 2,500 hectolitres of beer per year, and the other one is a small 150 hectolitre brewery. So you can see the difference. They had to scale up because their beer was really quite popular, and they are dedicated to German styles, as you would guess, with them having a German brewmaster. So just to list the other beers you can get from these guys, there's the Dunkel, the Weizen, the Pilsner, the Dunkelbock, the Fest beer, which is their Oktoberfest beer, the Smokecorn, which is a Rauch beer. They've got a stout as well, which is quite surprising, not so much a German style. They have the Eisbock and also the Helles too, and they have a deal with one of the restaurants where they produce an exclusive organic ale as well, so you might find that one somewhere around Otaru as well. They've got some fruit beers and some other seasonals as well, but as you can see, mainly dedicated to German beer, much like Fuji Sakura actually, down in the Mount Fuji region of Japan. But very much looking forward to trying this one, so we'll get stuck into it just now. So this one, like I mentioned to you, is a 5% German style Dunkel beer, and it's brewed with the traditional German method. Johannes actually sticks to the Reinheitsgebot when he brews his beers, not surprising there. But yeah, this one should be pretty nice. I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork before we open it up and get on with the tasting. Quite simply done here. You can see it says here Otaru Biru. Biru, of course, Japanese. It says Doso. My katakana isn't so good. Dosori no pu, something like that. Biru. I think it's just saying Dunkel Beer on the bottom here. So yeah, should be quite nice. As you can see, premium taste tradition since 1995. You can see the Otaru Brewery symbol there. All the beers are different colours here. They've got this little kind of wax stamp thing, the traditional medieval thing, and all the different styles of beer are different colours, and they do have this kind of different coloured cap on the top as well. So yeah, we'll get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting. Yeah, there you are, nicely opened up, little smoky opening there, and we'll get it out into the glass. The thing that surprises me a little bit with this beer is when it's a German beer, they're actually using a more kind of Belgian style beer bottle with this one. These little stubby bottles are the ones that you usually see with the Belgian beer, so I was quite surprised that they're using this when it comes to a German style beer. Oh yeah, the little dog you can hear barking, by the way, is Terry the Devil Dog, my girlfriend's little Maltese. And if he was in here with me when I'm doing the review, he'd be jumping all over the place, and he's through there with her sister just now. But these little dogs, they yap all the time. They're really annoying actually. He's a cute little dog, but he can be annoying when he barks. But as you can see, this beer is a nice golden coppery amber colour, I would say. Probably, yeah, coppery amber colour is a good way to describe this one. There's a finger and a half of a frothy, creamy coloured head on this one, some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and quite a few smaller ones going up towards the bottom of the head there. But it looks really, really quite nice. But this is why I prefer big dogs like German Shepherds and things. They don't bark and go crazy. But yeah, very nice looking beer, and we'll get stuck into the tasting of this one. So we'll give it a little smell and see how we get on. So, as you would expect from this beer, you can detect the German noble hops right away. You can pick that up right away. There's a nice bready malt base, and on top of that you can pick up these grassy, slightly floral hops, you know, the Tettnanger, the Hallertau hops, things like that. You can definitely pick up that here, that nice smooth grassiness, a little bit of the kind of quite bright earthy character, the floral flavours in there as well. But yeah, it smells very nice. There's a bit of caramel richness to this one. You can smell the nice caramel malt, and there a little bit of biscuity, grainy character coming out too. That's mixing nicely with the earthy aspects of the hops, and you can smell a little bit of toasted character in there as well. Maybe there's just a teeny bit. If you sugar it up a little bit, you start to get a little bit of the red fruity esters in there, and you can smell that really quite nicely. Yeah, really quite nice smelling beer actually. Yeah, it has everything you'd kind of expect from the Dunkel. The fruity character is quite interesting. As your nose adjusts to it, you get more and more of that actually. Yeah, you can really detect that a little bit. It's very, very nice. Yeah, so just take a little bit of time and enjoy this one. It actually smells very close to the German Dunkel beers that I've had before. It's got a lot of the same aromas, but when it's a German Brewmaster, then you wouldn't expect any less, or Braumeister I should say, Brewmaster in English. But yeah, take a little bit of time and enjoy the smell of this one. We'll get stuck into this one now. So this is the Dunkel beer, 5% ABV from Otaru Beer on Otaru Hokkaido. Kampai, Prost. Now that's pretty nice. First thing you're going to notice about this beer is how smooth it is. It's very, very smooth indeed on the mouth. Yeah, it has everything you'd expect of the kind of German style beer. The mouthfeel, I think, is a little bit different, but it definitely, this one's definitely using German malts and German hops. I think there's definitely imported malts and hops in this one. It tastes very, very like the ones I've had in Germany. That was one of the great things about living in Heidelberg, was you had two very good brauhouses local to you. And this one reminds me a lot of these Dunkel beers that I used to drink there, but I was a big fan of the Helles beers there. But this is really nice. It's actually a bit lighter in the mouthfeel, which for Japan is kind of what you'd expect. The German ones that you get on the Brauhaus are always that bit more full in the mouthfeel. They do feel just that little bit slightly creamier and thicker. But with Japan, of course, you've got very hot weather, so you need something that's just that little bit more crisp. It could perhaps be the bottle conditioning that gives it that different mouthfeel from the tap, but for me, This one is just a little bit lighter and crisp in the mouthfeel than the kind of the full German beers, if you like, but it's very, very nice. So in the middle of the palate you've got a nice bready malt base there. It's kind of like bready, buttery, almost like toast actually. That's probably a good way to describe it. On top of that you've got the more richer kind of cereally grainy things going on there, and also some nice caramel. You can get the caramel right in the middle of the tongue as the beer progresses into the aftertaste, and you've got the more cereally, dry and kind of biscuity elements of the beer coming out as well just after that. But it's very, very nicely done actually. I have to admit, this is a really quite nice beer, I have to say. On the hoppy side of things, it also has what you'd expect. In the back corner of the palate you've got a little bit of the earthy character that you expect of German noble hops, and as you come further forward it gets gradually more floral, slightly aromatic as well, but there's a smooth kind of grassiness around the front curve of the tongue there, which is very, very nice. The flavours in this beer blend together very well, and from the flavours, you know, if you didn't know it was a German brewmaster, if you know the characteristics of German Brauhaus beer, you could certainly guess or hazard a guess with this one. There's a big difference in quality between this one and some of the other German style beers that I've had here in Japan. I mean, the two breweries that stick out to me when I talk about German style beer in Japan, Fujizakura do some pretty damn awesome stuff, and on the basis of this beer, Otaru Beer have some pretty good things as well. The brewer at Fujizakura actually is German trained, but he is Japanese. But like I say, German brewer with these guys, which is the obvious reason why the beer is so good. But yeah, this is very nice. The lingering flavours in the aftertaste are definitely the sort of caramelly and biscuity things. A little bit of the cereal character in there. The dry, you can feel just a little bit of the dryness there from the hops and from the malt base too, but it's really a kind of grassy floral character and the nice caramel, slightly cereally malt aspects that are coming out of this beer. There's a little bit of red fruity ester, but that's really quite a mild flavour in this one. It's more about the malt base, as you would expect with this beer, but overall this one is really quite good, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. I would love to try it on tap and just see if what I said about the mouthfeel is true. Maybe even on tap in Japan it just has that slightly thicker mouthfeel that would go along with the German beers. It could perhaps just be the bottle conditioning, but main point is the flavour of the beer is pretty damn good. In terms of the mouthfeel, this one, I'd say it's mid-bodied. There's a good bit of carbonation to it. It's actually a little bit crisp, but it's a mainly malt forward beer. It's got some sweetness to it, a little bit of dryness to the malt base too, and some slight dryness to the hops, but overall the hops, I would say, are quite smooth, and the beer blends together very, very well with the flavours. There's a little bit of juicy fruity character too, but as I say, this is a pretty damn good beer, and I wouldn't expect anything less when they've got a brewer with kind of such distinction in distilling and beer actually. So yeah, if you get the chance, try some of the Otaru beers. If you're a fan of German style beers, you'll certainly enjoy these ones, and hopefully I can try a few more of them actually. It would be good to try some more of their beers and see how they are too. I love German style beer, and this one has certainly been a nice surprise. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching my beer reviews. If you've tried this beer for yourself, let me know your own thoughts on it in the comment section below. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you check out my social media. Let me know your favourite beers from this brewery, and hopefully I can get a hold of them and review them for you in the fairly near future. Like I say, you can check out my other Japanese reviews, or go and check out Casey and Eric's channel at Sotogami Akihabara. So thank you once again for watching. I will catch you soon. The Dunkel beer from Otaru Beer on Hokkaido here in Japan. Kampai, Slanja just now.